Alright, welcome back. We've got our rocket on the launch pad here. I immediately realized that I forgot little, like, kickoff stands. Should be okay. So, down here we have our SAS. This is controlled by the pilot, but also the, if we have one of those little, probe, modules that I put on there that allows us to remotely control the plane. That'll give it to us as well, and that'll be the control it has over the the amount it can move it will be dictated by the reaction wheels, and they're better off closer to the center of mass, which was close to down here. So you usually want that on. That's how you don't turn in circles as you fly straight up in the air. You can turn on the RCS with there, but we don't need that. It does nothing for us in the Earth's atmosphere. So we can change the throttle size here, down or up. And that's about it. These are our different headings to align the plane to, which I should not do because it's tipping it right now, and I forgot about that. Okay. So as we go here, this is our first stage, even though it says 3. We're starting here, and then we'll be firing our main engine. So boosters, main engine, then we'll disconnect these probably around the same time as we start firing our main engine. And finally, we'll come back down to Earth with our parachute. This is our pilot here. Do a little view from inside. Not a lot to see at the moment. Not in these the original smaller pods. I should mention that I have not bothered with my graphics for this game because I find that it does crash quite a bit. So I just wanted to get it working. I'm not worried about the graphics. It's more about the shit that I'm doing. It's kind of cool. Anyway, let's do a launch here in 3, 2, 1. Good. Always a good sign when you don't explode immediately. You can see some of the smoke venting over there. Vents on both sides. So, right now we're traveling... This is our surface speed. Orbit should be about the same, so it adds about 50 meters. Not sure what that's from. I've never explored it. So this green circle here, this is our prograde, or periapsis, I think is the other term. That's where we want to go to attain a stable orbit. Our solid fuel is running down here. Probably going to fire the main engine in a second. These are smaller boosters. I could have put on bigger ones, but... Alright, main engine's firing. We're losing speed now, so we're going to jettison those. There we go, gaining speed again. Now, at about 30,000 meters up in the air, is a good time to start turning towards your orbit. So for now we want to go in this direction here. We want to follow this so I can actually just lock it to it and our pilot will do it themselves. I've eased up on the throttle a bit because as long as we're gaining speed we're fine. I don't need to be gaining that much speed at the moment. If you want, we can take a look at our orbit here. I've just cut the engine because we're coasting. This is going to be our highest point up here. Again, that's the little mod I have. So that highest point will be here. It's our apoapsis. It's not periapsis. That's the lowest point. Prograde. I don't know if there's another term for that. Anyway, one of the things we want to do here is add a little maneuver. We can simulate what we need to do to get ourselves to a full orbit. I usually like playing with the green and the blue here. Don't remember what blue actually is. I don't need that much. Oh, yes I do. So we want to stay... I try to keep it circular. This is good enough. It's not much of a... Actually, that is quite a bit of fuel. I don't know if I have that much. We'll see. Anyway, so you can see at higher levels, again, this is all because I've been playing this file for fucking ever. You can see where your maneuver is going to align with. So when we get there, it's going to be right here on this blue dot. I'm going to speed it up a bit. We get there in 50 seconds. Thankfully, we can warp through time a little bit. And I give it about 20 seconds. And we'll start our burn. So we're slowly going to count down here. Speed it up a little bit. Oop, don't do that. Don't do that. Put off. Okay, that's good enough. Ugh. I hate when the camera fucking moves around. There we go. So I can see the stars a little bit now. One of these controls here. There it is. So I can actually like increase this. zoom out. So that's full throttle right now. This is our orbital speed. Anyway, not a very useful view for flying, actually. Most of the time, I find. Just about done there. Hopefully our fuel doesn't run out. It is kind of close. But that's okay. What we're wanting here is our periapsis to go up to a positive number, otherwise negative is like in the ground, which we obviously don't want to be. And I believe anything outside of, I think it's 70,000, but I usually go for 80,000 kilometers. Not 80,000 kilometers, 80,000 meters, 80 kilometers? Oh, perfect. Just enough. So we have just enough here to keep us clear of the sphere of influence of the planet, not the sphere of influence, the, like the actual atmosphere of the planet, so we won't get dragged back in by accident. While we're out here, let's get our solar panels out. You can actually rig these to all come out at the same time if you give them like a hotkey, but at the moment I don't have time for that. Let's just rotate ourselves so we can... Whoop! Didn't want that on. My bad. So, you can see actually how, like, it's fucking ridiculous. Because there's a lot of control, because it's a very small vessel and we have all this control in here, plus she's got her abilities. She's not a bad pilot. You can see the stuff that she's done. I've taken her to the moon 5 times. I think that's what that means. I'm not sure. Anyway, actually. Anyway, so we've got our batteries here. They'll stay charged as long as we're charging with solar panels, which usually these ones will orient themselves towards the sun as best as they're able. I can move ourselves. Actually, I will move that way, and then you can watch them turn. They're turning around there so they can get better sunlight. So this is our little sensor that I brought up with us here. So I think start scan. Okay, that gives us it opening up here. I think if I just pop this is the mod here. These are the 2 mods that I have. Kerbal Engineer gives us more stuff, and the mapping. There's a map. Is this one? Yeah, there we go. So this is on Minimus. That's where I was last looking. So this is Kerbal. This is our main planet. This is where we are over the surface, directly over the equator, sort of. And the blue is our current path, and then orange is our projected path on the next run. As you can see, it's sort of similar to Earth. There's little bits and pieces that kind of look like, this kind of looks like Africa to me, this little coast here. But it's got the same biomes and stuff. I've scanned it tons of times. You can see the little different biomes here. I think I've been to all of them. Yeah, so that mod gives you this. I think they did finally add something like that. There's 3 different little kinds of sensors which have different altitudes that they operate at. We brought our little thermometer up so we can take temperature. Toggle the display on. For those of you that know Kelvin. Normally, if I was in a newer game, this would give me some science. And we'd get to keep the experiment or transmit it sometimes for better ability. If I transmit it, a little antenna will come up here. And we get some information about the transmission. Alright, so you've seen the RCS. I can actually change our orbit. See if I can put us into a decline, actually. Yeah, it'll take forever. I gotta get down to like 60,000. Without fuel, it takes quite a bit. I mean, we've got a bit of fuel for the RCS, but not quite enough. So yeah, these are little jets that fire in all directions here. Yeah. That's usually what I use for docking and small maneuvers and stuff. So, last thing we should do is get the fuck out of the ship. Whoop, that's not what I wanted to push. That's what I wanted to push. So the pilots have RCS as well. There we go, okay. Sometimes I forget the controls for these, they're slightly different. I think, yeah, they're slightly different. So, we can even turn on our little light. I'm sorry, they have chutes now? My god, I did not know they had parachutes. Awesome! Wow. What happens? Nothing. Because we're in atmosphere. Without atmosphere. Okay, so we can take a report here. Normally I can turn on lights. Yeah. So, Valentina's hanging out, named after the first woman in space, I believe, Russian woman. Yeah. So that's about it for the ship right now. Can do a gravity situation. We go fucking forever. So we've got our own supply of propellant here. It might be a little tough to read. It replenishes anytime you go inside of the ship. So as long as you're within a good distance, you're usually not in any danger of just being stranded in space, which is nice and helpful. On other difficulties, I'm sure you can modify that and just make it fucking like actual space. Anyway, so yeah, that's the basic mechanics. You can see these 3 studs here on each side are where the booster's disconnected from. Parachute won't be able to deploy. Yeah, unfortunately, I probably should have just not put us in an actual orbit, but it did, and oh well. So yeah, another thing, always be careful of breaking your solar panels. I've done that a couple times. Can I do it this time? Oop, gotta hit him first. I've done that a couple times and it sucks. Usually, thankfully, can just reload a save. There we go. And it messes with your pilot. Unfortunately, there's no way to fix them even if you have like an engineer and stuff. It's kind of annoying, but whatever. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed Kerbal as much as I love this game. And Valentina seems to be having a good time herself as well. So, I will probably do some more of this. I haven't quite decided what I will do with the series. I'd love to live stream it, but that's its own thing. And yeah, I'll probably have some more of this coming at some point. I'll mess around with it, and we'll do some other shit, land on some other moons and stuff. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. Bye.